This is a picture of me the last time LeBron James failed to score 10 points in an NBA game. This is me now. That picture was taken in 2010. It is 2025, which means that LeBron James has scored 10 points in 15 NBA seasons without missing one game. 1,240, I believe, is around how many the streak is up to. I want to talk about it today. Unfortunately, today is my birthday, which means that I do not have a ton of time because we have plans. Now, what would a beautiful birthday to me look like? Absolutely nothing. No plans. Sitting up here making videos for you guys, but that unfortunately is not how it's rolling today. So my wife is going to be home in 9 minutes, and I don't have a ton of time. This video is not going to be heavily edited, and I apologize. It's just going to be podcast form, stream of consciousness. We're going to talk about LeBron James because it's all over the place. And as a professional sports bettor, and I say this because my limits are now so ridiculous that that title is being forcibly stripped from my hands, which is expected, something I knew was going to happen. And a lot of you are going to say, well, you're just not grinding hard enough. You haven't signed up your great-grandcousin? No, I have not. And no, I will not. I don't live in Iowa, so I'm not subject to that new law they passed where you could be imprisoned for playing under somebody else's name. What? That's for another time. But today I do want to talk about this LeBron James situation, we'll call it, because there seems to be differing viewpoints on the internet from all walks of sports betting life. The EV guys, the DGen guys, the guys with discords, the guys without discords, everybody has an opinion. So I'm going to try to put it into a lens from which I view. Hear me clearly, hear me loudly, hear me plainly. I'm not saying my view is correct. I don't care what you do with your $6,000, $7,000, and $8,000 on a Friday night when the Los Angeles Lakers host the Brooklyn Nets. Your money is your money. But I'm going to tell you what I would do, or rather would not do. Here's a graph. I made this, and I've never made this before, but I'm kind of proud of it. And it has 3 quadrants. I guess they can't be quadrants if there's only 3 of them, you absolute moron. Quadrant implies 4. There are 3 circles. I call this a Venn with 3 ends diagram. We have red, which is an EV bet. We have blue, which is a wise bet. And we have yellow, which is a DGen bet. And this is not an all-encompassing chart, mind you. This is just what I made in 3.5 minutes. You can see that some of these charts overlap. So, for instance, an EV bet can be a wise bet. An EV bet can be a DGen bet. Think of a same-game parlay that utilizes reverse correlation but is very unlikely to hit. I don't know what you would consider a wise bet, and I think that that blue circle is the most subject to change. I think we can all agree based on certain metrics, or at least somewhat agree, what a plus EV bet is. But a wise bet is going to be more up to the bettor. And this is where we have opinions about should you be betting LeBron James to score 10 points. The first thing is, as many sports bettors know, and as many brilliant sports bettors know, and it's probably like sports betting 101, the past instances have no impact on the future instances. Meaning LeBron James could have scored 10 points for his entire career. That does not mean he is more or less likely to score 10 points tonight. That's the first thing. However, knowing that he has this streak, I think does play into the favor of those supporting the 10 plus points. There is something to be said about being aware of a streak, being aware of a record, and trying to keep pace with that. So I do think that that favors the people who would bet $17,000, such as Elfie here on Twitter, another very popular account. But does that make it a wise bet? No. That is my opinion. It may be a plus EV bet, and I'm not even going to sit here and pretend I can calculate the fair value of a 40-year-old scoring 10 points when his line is at 23.5. I'm sure the probability is incredibly high, and I'm sure you can justify putting down a certain amount of money on a minus 5,000 prop. But $17,000 to me, when there's randomness involved, is not a wise bet. That brings up my second chart, which I spent even less time making. Of course, technical fouls are a possibility. Ejections are a possibility. But I think the most realistic possibility in this entire endeavor is the percent chance that he gets injured. Now, I mentioned the streak. I would even acknowledge that LeBron James is the type of guy to play through an injury to get 10 points and keep his streak alive. That is why he is the GOAT. Shut up, Michael. Your time is over. But again, this is a 40-year-old man who is in incredible shape and is still playing some tremendous basketball. But that does not mean he is immune from unlucky situations. All it would take is for him to come down wrong and roll his ankle. And is that how you want to lose out on $17,000? Outside of injuries, there is one other possibility that sneaks into my mind, even though I don't love it and I don't think it is realistic, and I would never want to compare LeBron James to Jonte Porter. But, I can't even believe I'm going to say this. Maybe there's a chance. Just LeBron is too powerful. LeBron is too notorious. LeBron is too wealthy to care about doing something stupid that threatens his legacy and threatens his career and threatens anything. But crazier things have happened. So maybe there's he's not going to throw it. He's not going to throw it. I'm alluding to the fact that LeBron could potentially participate in some insider trading endeavors by way of doing something sneaky, something to where he gets injured in the game and doesn't score 10 points and becomes very profitable from it, because books like ProfitX do offer a no line. However, there probably isn't enough liquidity to move the needle on LeBron James actually pulling a Jonte Porter. Yeah, that's probably not realistic. An injury is probably the most realistic thing that can happen. I don't think LeBron is actually going to sell out here. The bottom line, you can do whatever you want. Doesn't mean I think it's wise. If you think it is in your best interest to risk almost $20,000 to win a few hundred, knock yourself out. You're not going to get any judgment from me. But my one ask is that you don't try to justify it in any certain way. I think that's where people are getting hung up, and I think that's where the arguments are coming in. If you want to make this bet, make the bet. Trying to justify it as mathematically sound is where I start to scratch my head. The joy of winning $400 risk-free may feel good for a few weeks, but it will pale in comparison to the pain felt if he ever doesn't score 10. What do I know? Bonus thought that I should have included, and after I was about to export this, it crossed my mind, so we're going to mention it real quick. I have a curiosity about if social media did not exist, if no one could post that they were doing it, how many people would actually do it? I do think there is plus EV value in the clout gained from this. There are people who are using this, such as I believe Elf, to further his brand, which may be wise. That may be worth the $17,000. Again, I don't judge him for it. If he wants to do that, it's totally fine. But I do think if he does not post it, if he is not able to post about it to gain clicks and gain attraction, and again, I'm not blaming him for it. It's marketing, right? It's advertising himself. Like that's normal. It's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm making a video about it. Nobody cares about my opinion. I'm only making this video because maybe it will stir up some conversation. And people will be like, "Who's Green Beans Go? What's he have to say?" And then maybe hopefully they'll stick around and be like, "Oh, Green Beans Go. He's not too bad. I kind of like this guy. Maybe I'll follow him. Maybe I'll see what else he says about gambling." Like we're all doing the same stuff. It just looks different. I'm just not risking $17,000 on this video. I'm risking an hour of my time. So I do wonder how much of the LeBron James 10 points is about the money earned versus the clout gained. Yeah, what do I know?